Hey guys, M4J3FFR135 here and welcome to... That's right guys, we are back in the North City. Welcome back to M4J3FFR's Plays Cities in Motion 2. Now before we get cracking with the main episode itself, I just want to address one or two comments that I've received on the videos over the last couple of weeks. So let's get straight into that. I'm going to try and stop umming and ahhing as well because I know that's annoying. So the first comment is from Ian Trainer, and he says that I don't let you watch the vehicles go on their routes anymore, and that is actually a very good point. That is something that I've completely forgotten to do over the last few weeks. Is I always build the line and then I move on to the next one, and I've never stopped really to reflect on the previous line. Over the coming episodes there will be a chance to view the lines that I've built and see the vehicles go round and picking up passengers, dropping passengers off, etc. I've built some more lines off camera between the last episode and today, so there's plenty to look at. So yeah, that is something I'm going to bring back to the series. It's only fair that I do that. The next comment, George De Silva, can the new hub be called King's Cross? If it was more towards the centre of the city and was considered a crossing point, then perhaps. Gloucester Gardens is a busy, bustling hub, and you can sort of see it's where lots of different lines cross over and head to different directions. So if this is more likely a candidate for something cross. But it's called Gloucester Gardens, and I have no intention of changing that at the moment. But if I were to, then that's what I would change it to. There might be another hub being built somewhere else in the city in the near future. Possibly over here, because again, we've got lots of flat land here. Plenty of potential to build a big part of the city. And there's all these other areas over here, which I've suggested in the past. So that name will remain reserved, just in case. But talking of names for hubs, Zachary S has got the idea of Oak Hedge, and that's not bad. I quite like that actually. I do like that one. It's a good one. It's a good suggestion. And I've had a couple of other trying to go through this on my phone as I'm recording. Trying to find the other comments, because there's one from a couple of weeks ago. Where is it? Oh, actually, Fulcrum was an idea for the island, and I quite like that. Fulcrum Island. That's a good one. So I think we'll stick with that one. And finally, here it is. My God, I always get stuck reading the long comments. I get stuck between the lines. Well, maybe it's not there. There was one I saw the other day that I really liked the name of, and I can't find it from the life of me now. Oh dear. Well, that's embarrassing. Yeah, okay, we'll forget about that. But the other comment I got was from Andy Patmore, and he was saying about, in the last episode I might have overly moaned a bit about building the new triple stack station, and I should clarify that now. I do enjoy building these stations. I don't hate doing it, and the result itself is worth the ordeal going through trying to build it. So that's fine. I don't have a problem with building things like this. And as you can see, the station itself is not that successful at the moment because we still need to hook up some more lines to the new hub. But the actual design of the station, the operational flexibility, is a lot better. I think one of the points I was making was this interchange here between the three different levels is very nice, very neat, very well built, and I like it a lot. Whereas this junction is a terrible mess because you've got three different lines heading off in three different directions, and there's no unity about it because they all spur off in different directions. Whereas this one, they all stay directly one above the other until they're all connected, and then it swings off and heads in its direction. So that's kind of the point that I was making, and that's one of the things that I dislike the most about the behind the scenes, as it were, of this city. Is sometimes it gets a little bit messy like this. And if you remember last week's time lapse building this hub, it looks a lot simpler now and a lot cleaner, but the initial tunnels that I had going to and from the depots were horrendous to try and keep track of where each line went. It was a real mess. So I complain about things like that, but overall I am a huge fan of this city. I think this is the best city I've ever built on this game. Even better than the previous city, the central city that we worked so hard on. And I'm a real big fan of this city. I really, even just looking at my own city, I get brand new ideas for how to go about things. So I'm really pleased with the outcome. And I owe a lot of that to you guys as well for giving me ideas and suggestions, which I then take forward and turn into these fantastic creations. So as much as it is me who does the initial building, but a lot of the credit should go to you guys, because you fill me out with ideas and share experiences with your own builds as well, which is always good to see and interesting to read. But yeah, I just wanted to clear that one up, just so you guys know that I'm not saying I'm not going to be following requests anymore, or that I absolutely hate everything I do. That's not true at all. I really enjoy building this city. Even the long big builds. The hub from last week was time-lapse. The overall video initially was about 3 hours long, I think, and I managed to shorten it down to something like half an hour. Made a few slide cuts as well, which you probably didn't notice at the time, but there was a lot of editing going on in that video, just to make sure that it was a quick running video. Just noticed here there's some buses getting in the way of the trolley, which is something I always wanted to avoid. Might have to double up this bit. But yeah, today's episode, that's what I wanted to talk about. Today's episode, we're going to carry on with this part of City Auto. Now, usually at this point some music kicks in and we go into a time-lapse. However, it's not that people don't like the time-lapse, but again, I've been reading comments and I've been gaining feedback, and there's a couple of you that say you prefer the Wednesday episodes, which have accidentally almost become these big build episodes. They were supposed to be like the mini prep episodes, and then we go into a big time-lapse at the weekend. So I'm not quite sure what happened with that, apart from I slipped off the ball, obviously. But again, I actually don't mind that. I think that's cool that we can now do big build Wednesdays and then we can do time-lapse Saturdays. Providing you guys are on board with that, then I don't have a problem. But one of the things I do want to experiment with is the idea of bringing back just following vehicles and indeed following people around the city, because again, that's something that I read you guys quite enjoyed, was when we used to stalk people in the city. So that will be something that will be coming back, maybe not in bonus episodes. I might just have that as a Wednesday episode or a Saturday episode, depending on what's been going on in the series that particular week. So again, it's not set in stone, and don't quote me on it just yet, because it may or may not happen in the very near future, but I do intend to make it happen at some point in the future in this series, because it's nice to freshen things up and take new angles every now and then. This is episode 178 now, I believe, and think back to the very first episode, I was very nervous sounding, didn't really sound like I was interested in what I was doing. Whereas now I feel like I'm more enthusiastic about the whole thing. I know a lot more about the game than I used to, and I just enjoy it more. I enjoy getting comments, getting ideas, and then jumping straight into a recording session and trying to make them happen. And as you know, I changed things up by introducing the time lapses and shortening the number of, well, just shortening the episodes in general, and also creating different episodes per week. So you either have, I don't know, 2, 3, sometimes we had 4, I believe, in the past as well. So it was nice to sort of take a break from that and just try something new. That's what it's all about for me, is trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't. So already, talking about trying new things, I've already messed up this new section. What's going to happen soon? None of these stations are actually going to have surface connections yet, but this entire blank area here is going to become a built-up area of the city. And I've learnt from experience, and especially with the success of Gloucester Gardens, one of the smart things to do is to actually build the track first and the stations first, and then build the city around it, and then you don't have to worry about have you got enough space to build what you want to build. So that is definitely the idea that I wish to take from Gloucester Gardens and integrate and instigate into this new part of the city. So we're going to have first station here. We might have some surface connections just to get some buildings going, but overall this line itself is going to be pretty dire to start with, because it's just going to be loads of blank stations. Right, at this point we're going to lift the track up. We're not going to have it surfaced though. We might have it surfaced for this little bit here actually, because that looks quite cool. We could have some bridges going over there or something. We'll have another station here. Yeah, I don't mind. As I said, you build the track first and then you build the city around it. So I don't mind if it surfaces. Because actually that looks kind of cool in the grand scheme of things. It looks almost deliberate, and then you can get some nice features being built around it just by that. So I don't mind that at all. And then let's have that finish there. And we're going to connect this to the City Auto Express platforms, which means I'm going to have to do some reworking on the City Auto Express line, unless could I build this platform? I know what I could do. Let's go across like this and then connect that to there and that to there. And then let's rebuild this piece of track as well, so it's all one piece. Yes, City Auto. I've made a change to the City Auto Express. Nothing massive, nothing drastic. All that I've done is taken platforms off of the stopping schedule. I'll explain a little bit more what I mean by that in just a second, because I've just had an idea for where else this new line can go. I wanted to connect it to the island on the right hand side of the map, and I think this gives me the perfect opportunity to do just that. And we can have some stations on this part of the city as well, which is brand new, and I don't even think I've shown that bit to you guys as well. I've really slipped off the ball, as it were, in terms of keeping you guys up to date with the changes that I've made in this city. I think one of the problems was I did a heck of a lot of it off camera, and then it's been so long since I actually sat down and recorded an episode proper that I've basically forgotten what it is I've done until after I've recorded the episode, and then I've suddenly gone, oh shoot, I forgot to mention such and such. So yeah, there's a lot of changes, and I think this episode as well will be a good opportunity for me to go over those changes and show you guys what it is I've done. Because there are some massive changes in certain parts of the city. Huge changes. And so it'll only be fair that I actually show you what those changes are. Right, so at this point here, we're going to dive underground again via a new tunnel. I've put that in the wrong place. There we go. Let's go 3 down for this bit. See, when am I going to build this new one? I could build it here, and then have some surface connections going on, like so. And then here we can have that one come up to there, and then here we can have, let's just put it to there. Okay. And now we want to curve eastwards again. Preferably like so. Underneath here. Now again, this bit's going to be annoying because we've got a change in the landscape. Let's see, if I build this one here, sort of like that, can I get a surface connection in there? Oh, I can. Awesome. Can I get one here? Oh, I can. See, now that surprised me. That shows what the actual hill is like here. That you can hide an entire station under there and basically just hide it. No one will know it's there. You just have a slope going down slightly and then a slope on the other side going down slightly. Now I want to avoid this going into a tunnel under the water if I can. So let's see if I can make it come up here. It's not looking very likely at the moment. Oh, I can have it come up here though. What's that slope like? Oh, that slope is horrendous. So we want it to go like this really. And then it'll go over the water. Let's try that again. Over the water. Have I really just... There we go. Okay, like that. Over the water. And then down into tunnel again. Like so. We'll have another station here. Like that. Now this is going to be a long line. Definitely only going to be able to do one loop before the trains are knackered. I think we'll just stick with the one station on this island and then we'll curve back to the mainland again. Which means we're going to have another tunnel exit. Which luckily we have loads of room over here for. So let's do this. Again, I just prefer bridges to tunnels for lines like this, because then you can actually follow the train around without the camera angle being really heavily distorted by it constantly changing topography. Don't even know if that's the right word in the context, but there you go. Okay, so we're going to have this line curve this way now, back towards target. We're going to build a new station underneath this interchange here. So this is going to become a big interchange now, this city auto station here. So let's do that. Build the new platform in. Like so. Now at this point I have no idea how this is going to connect. Maybe one under here. Can we fit one? No. Alright, hang on. I can fix this. Let's just break this off here. Take that, get rid of that. Build that across like this, and then build that there like so. I mean, actually I probably could have had a street level station here. Just had it dip up and down again like Route 16 does. Why is it telling me there's not enough? Ah, that's why. Alright, we have to build this on a slight dipping up. Don't normally like doing that, but I'll make an exception for this. Now does that help me build a... No, it doesn't. Okay, in that case we're going to have to come off the edge like this. So we can have one there. We could possibly have one... Aha, we can have one there. Okay, that'll have to do. And then from here, the tracks will curve round this way. And I'm going to try and connect them via a flat junction to... Well, apparently I can't do it to there because of this pathway, but I might be able to get rid of that pathway and move it somewhere. Let's see if I can change this pathway first. So I should be able to get it to go there and then there like that. There we go. And now if I build backwards from this direction, like so, and then like that, there we go. Now it's just about connecting these up. Now I'm going to connect these to the outside platforms. Nope, that was not the wisest way of doing it at all. Oh well, I'm going to do it to both. Both sets of platforms, so we can have trains from both directions running. And this might cause a little bit of a bottleneck, but it shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad. Now we can just go through all of these and connect up the platforms. In fact, we could have another station over here. Yeah, let's do that really quickly. Because again, this part of the city is going to grow, so it makes sense. We do that, that, and that. And I'm going to make this an avenue station. because I can see this becoming a bit of an interchange in the future. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this, and I probably should have made it curved, so let's rebuild. That was me being lazy. There we go, much better. Just a little station on a little curve like this, and it makes all the difference. There we go. And now the surface connections, we should be able to fit one there like so, and one here like so, and that actually makes these junctions that little bit easier to negotiate for the vehicles as well, which is always a good thing. Right, so over here we only have one station on this island on this line, but I might build more on future lines. Go across, cross, cross. I'm not entirely happy with this tunnel exit. I think the curve is a little sharp. We'll have to be wary as to what vehicles use this line. And that is a very, very steep incline there. But, you know, I've been on lines like the DLR in the past, and they do have steep inclines. That's something that relatively newly built metro lines tend to have these days, is very, very steep inclines. Because they are just threaded through city centres. So I suppose it's not that unrealistic compared to some. Right, another station under here. I'm just looking forward to getting vehicles on this line really, and adding yet another string to the new hub's bow. I would like some more name suggestions actually for the new hub. I'm not dismissing some of the old ones because I do like them, but I think some of them are better suited to other parts of the city. Like I said, King's Cross I think is better suited to a different part of the city. So I'm going to hold on to that name, but I'm not going to use it at this moment in time. But any other suggestions are more than welcome. I'm always keen to get opinions from people, so if you are sitting there wondering if you should comment or not, then for goodness sake please do, because chances are I'll read the comment and like straight away what I see. So yeah, if you feel like you want to do it, then please do it. Right, placing stations. One of the least fun parts of the job. So ones like this are easy, you just line them up in the centre. Ones like the next station here, it's always about trying to get them roughly halfway between the middle and the end. But these are the ones that I hate the most, because you always get trams that stop on this side heading to the west in this case, because there's people crossing the street in front of them. I always find that an irritation. I wish there was a way that you could dictate passenger flow to stop that kind of thing from happening. And here I am completely forgetting to put surface connections on this station. I'll have one there and one there. It's a bit elongated right now, but as I said, this is going to be built on this part of the city, so that's not a problem. There is room for another station over here actually, but as I said, I think a separate line would be good for that. Right, we then come into this part where we're going to go one there, and then one here and here. Another good opportunity for cross-platform interchange, not cross-platform interchange like I nearly said. Cross-platform interchange. Those two in the middle of the trough, and at this point it joins up with the main network again, so that's absolutely fine. However, on this side of the hub we have this new station over here, which I built on Wednesday. I think I built this station. We just need to put the platforms in for this, because this is going to be the platforms for the new line that we're about to plan. They look roughly in the middle to me. Now before I actually map out this route, I do want to tell you guys what I've done with the City Auto Express. So let's start with its origin, which is of course Gloucester Gardens. Basically the start of the line is pretty much the same as it was before. Comes out of the depot, stops at this station. This is when it starts to differentiate though, because it used to go... is that the right one? Yeah, it used to stop at this station, whereas now only City Auto 2 and 4 stop at this station. Express carries on, goes straight through the platforms. Its next stop is here, at Cologne Square, where it picks up passengers, drop passengers off, and then it goes... God, I thought my game had crashed then. It goes through this station, doesn't stop. Wrong one. Goes through this station, doesn't stop. Doesn't stop at this one either. Stops at this one here though, because it's an interchange with 2 tram lines above, and then it doesn't stop again until its terminus, which is here. It then does the same in reverse all the way back to Gloucester Gardens, picks up passengers again from Gloucester Gardens, and then it stops at these 2 interchange stations here. So we've got the main one underground and then the main one above ground. And then again it doesn't stop until this station, because there's the connection with the underground line here as well and the metro, and then it will go straight through these stations. Now this is the bit I like, which is very, very clever. At this point it goes on the outside track. However, at this station it actually goes onto the inside track through the middle here, and then it stays on the inside track until this section here, where it then goes onto the outside track again. And I think that's really clever. It doesn't get in the way of metro trains because of the way the timetable works, but it's a really good way to bypass the stopping trains that stop at these 2 stations. So I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. And then again it stops at all these platforms here, and I was going to change that if I connected this track up to this station. However, I haven't, so therefore it looks as though it's going to carry on as it did before, which is fine. So what I now need to do is put in the new line, and again it's going to go from the City Auto depot. These 2 lines over here, City Autos 2 and 3, I'm very tempted to actually relocate to this depot here as well. I'm going to leave them as they are for now, but I think to have a standard of vehicle on the line is always a good idea. But let's see, we're going to have City Auto 6 first of all. We're really developing into the City Auto lines again. We're going to have 6 and 7 by the end of this episode at least. So that's, yeah, a huge amount. Huge amount. Right, so they're all planned out, and then we're going to go here. Now the last few lines I've actually had going from the City Auto Express station, but I think this one I'm going to have go back to the original platforms over here. Just so that there's not a massive queue of vehicles. We're going to have it stop on this one, then we're going to go straight through this platform. Now at this point I think we're going to go on the inside platform, because it has the better angle to get over onto this section here. And then we're going to go this way. Now here, I'm going to go inside platform. I'm going to go inside platform because it looks like the main line. I think any deviation line I build will come off of that line, so therefore it makes sense to do it that way around. We're then going to go here, here, under here. Every time I think we're running out of room for City Auto, I always find a new spot. Like here hasn't been served. Big area around this area hasn't been served. All the parts of the city that haven't been built yet, of course, they're going to be served at some stage. So yeah, there's plenty still to do in this city. There's an absolute cluster ton of things that still need to be done. Every time I think we're nearly at the end, we're actually miles away from the end, which is always a good thing, really. I've got no problems with that. Right, what am I doing? Through here to this stop here, and then from here we need to go over here, and I assume there's a straightforward connection for that. Yes, there is. Good. Via this really sharp bend. Squeaky wheels going around that corner, that's for sure. And then we connect up with this main line again, so I guess the smart thing to do would be to stop at all these stations heading back. Now at this point we're actually on the City Auto line. There is a way I can adapt that, and that is to build a new connection from this station, which will link up with the existing City Auto platforms. In fact, do we already have one of them? No, doesn't look like we do. Oh no, we don't. No, we don't. But we can do in just a second. So let's build that connection first, actually, before I mess around doing other things. Right, so these are all at the same level, so I need this one to go 1, 2, 3, 4 underground, to go underneath this, and then to connect up. In fact, there's not even room for it there. It's going to have to go a long way underground. Just swing round like so, and then connect up I'd like to connect this one up here if I can. I can. Sweet. And then this one, I should be able to have go like this. Should be able to curve underneath like this, although it doesn't look like it actually can, but now it can. Like this, and then that should just be able to connect up like this. There we go. Very, very nice. So that one connects to there, that one connects to there. Okay, one other thing which I need to mention in this episode actually, which I've completely forgotten about, which is actually very, very important in terms of route development in this city. So I'll have to do that in a very short second, once I've finished planning out these lines. So let's see, we start at this one, so we should end at this one. Gloucester Gardens is a very laggy part of the map now. We've got a lot of vehicle movements, and we've also got a lot of pedestrian movements. So it's become a bit of a thorn in the side in terms of making this game run smoothly. And I have to do a lot more saving now due to crashing. See how long it takes to save as well. It's always a heart-in-mouth moment. Alright, City Auto 7. Some of the observant viewers might have already noticed the big change that I want to mention to you guys once I finish doing this. It's to do with more City Auto lines and building out from the new hub. We've got lots of new lines that snake all around the city. Lots of new lines. There's a lot more than I can remember a lot of the time as well, which is a bit of a struggle when I'm going through it all again. Especially now when I'm recording an episode and I'm trying to remember what's new and what isn't. Right, so let me just get this straight. That station, and then we go on to this bit here for this station, and then we go to Cologne Square underground. We then go this way, like so, up and over the bridge, new station, dedicated line. It's quite a long distance actually between that station and the new hub, which again I suppose I have to be happy with, because it makes it a bit of an express, I suppose. Right, just check that there's a definite connection there. Yep, there is. Cool. And station there, station here, station over this way, over here, station there. There are passengers starting to appear as well, which is always a good sign. It means people actually want to use the new line, which is always a victory in itself for me. Once again, mainline platforms. Stop here, and then connect up again via the centre platform. Although this one I could go to either, but I think in the interest of continuity, centre platform. And then here it's you go through the first one, stop at the second one to unload, and then back to depot. Now we're going to have to buy a whole new fleet of vehicles for this now. And I've actually done some changes with the vehicles here as well. We've now got all three different sizes that I've used on this line in the past. We've got the medium, Prospector Royal M, Prospector Royal L, and if I can find one of the little Ditty single car units as well, Scanditram Universes. Just so there's always variety, because there's some lines that are really popular and there's some lines that aren't all that popular. But in the interest of keeping it standardised, I've gone basically for all vehicles run on all lines. There's no set vehicles. So you either get lucky or you don't if you're waiting for a train and there's lots of you there. Right, that should cover the new lines. We do have a problem with vehicles queuing to get in, but it's not too bad. It doesn't clog up the main line, which is always good. Right, I'm just going to save again and I'm going to introduce you to the new section. Okay, so it runs from Gloucester Gardens via the new hub and then back again to Gloucester Gardens. I think Gloucester Gardens will remain the hub of all City Auto lines, with the exception of this little depot up here, which isn't actually City Auto, but it half counts because it has underground sections. So the new line starts under here. I think it goes via these platforms as well, which is the City Auto Express platforms. Goes through this station as normal. Goes through this station as normal on the outside tracks, because it then goes via this bit here, via this station, which is as popular as ever. Yeah, it's 5 and 4 that go via this section here, and then it ducks into the city like this, and then there's this new flyover junction here, which I should probably give names to, actually, these junctions. But I haven't really thought about that at the moment. We also could do with something here just to get the buildings growing back again. I'll worry about that some other time. Because we have this track here now that runs alongside this street. And we have two new stations. We have this one here, Garland Street / Amity Avenue. Trying to think what there's a connection to. There's a connection to another City Auto track under here, which is 2 and 4, which must mean this is 3 and 5, yep. So actually it crosses over itself, because there's 4, and there's 4, and then 5 is here, and there's 5. So that gives you an idea as to where this line actually goes. But anyway, it goes through this station here, and then there's another station down this end of the island, where again, loads of people waiting. I don't think there's a City Auto connection here though, I think it's just street trams. So what have we got here? Quite a few routes. That might explain it actually. We've got 6 routes running through these stops here. That would explain a lot. But anyway, it then goes up and over this bridge here, through to Fulcrum Island, as it's now known, to an underground station here, which only has a single connection, but again, very popular. Then rises again up and over here, to another station, which is this one. In fact, did I build this in the last episode? I'm starting to think I did. Who knows? Anyway, then goes across here into the new hub, comes out of the new hub. So what was it, 3 and 4? 5 and 4. Yeah, maybe I did build this in the last episode. Well, in case I didn't, it then basically loops round this way, goes under this part of the city, has some stations here, and then goes up and over here via this station here, which I actually had to rebuild this road to get the bridge. But it goes via this and then links up with this station here just before Cologne Square again. So overall, yeah, quite successful. Quite a big fan of that. And the metro station at Cologne Square is another reason there's a lot of lag here. 680 people waiting to head in one direction on the express platforms. 290, nearly 300 on the local platforms. So it's very, very popular, this station. And you look how many people are waiting for the City Auto trains as well. It's mental. I can't up the capacity. All I can do is increase the number of trains, which really is counterproductive. So I'm not really sure what to do about that. I'm also starting to worry that some of these vehicles keep getting reused for these lines, and I'm wondering if the timetable is something to do with that. Because at the time I had just large vehicles in the depot, so I wasn't too worried about vehicle size, but now we've got all of these ones going round. It actually makes sense to make sure that these are timetabled correctly. Yes, see, these are all done for small, so the small vehicles always get picked, which means they break down. In fact, these ones I should just be able to copy from Route 1. Yeah, they run at the same time of day, it's just the vehicle size is different. Which again, actually, that doesn't really work. But yeah, we've got lots of new lines snaking around the city now. I am really happy with the number of lines that we've got. There's a definite interest now. If you just stand anywhere in the city and watch it for a while, the number of people moving around is always something to look at, but the number of vehicles at maximum capacity is something else that is really, really good about the way this network works, especially the City Auto. I'm a really big fan of this City Auto. The vehicles are always running full, which is good. You know, we're making lots of money. If I go onto the economy tab, we're making 2.8 million at the moment, and I've tried to counteract that by increasing all staff wages to get them to pretty much 100% happiness. But even now, you know, we're making an absolute ton of money still. Service quality could always do with being better. Total reputation is 80%, which actually isn't that bad. The one we need to work on is blue collar, and I think that's because we don't really go to that many industrial areas. In fact, are there even any industrial areas left in this city? All of this used to be industrial, I'm sure of it. And over here as well. But it's not too bad. We could do with some more metro lines, or at least running more metro trains, to try and make up for the number of people waiting. I should probably work on that. See if I can work on that now, because I wanted to make a small change to this station as well. whilst I remember to. Just wanted to add that in. Stick in a new platform. Put that one there. Does that one need upgrading? Yep, sure does. Right, Route 42, let's redo. Like so. Now Route 42 I believe is the local one. Route 41 I believe is the express one, although I might as well just redo both of them whilst I've got the chance. So what's this one? This is small. Actually, this is the local one. Okay. In that case, yeah, we are going to reuse both these platforms. So this is going to be the loading platform. Now, let's just make this the express one. But no, this has to be the local one because it uses this. No, this is the express one because it uses the small trains. Oh my god, I'm confused. Right, pick up platform. Go via the waypoint. Go via the waypoint. Under the tunnel. Stop in the center platform. Via the waypoint. Doobie-doo, all the way through here. Express platform, which is that one. Don't need to worry at this point because it's double track anyway. Go via this station here. Waypoint. Waypoint. And waypoint. This station here. This station here. Now I did kind of want to rebuild this line, but I don't think I'm going to do it in today's episode. But eventually we're going to have a metro connection to this hub as well. But I think we've done enough building today. I think this episode has gone on. Yeah, this episode's quite a long one today. It's about as long as a Wednesday one, which is double the length of a usual Saturday one, it seems. So I should probably stop talking soon and start wrapping this up. But I am going to finish this line, and I'm going to finish the other metro line as well, just to make sure that these are 100% functional again. Because we are going to add more trains to the lines. So we need to make sure that this is working. Look at that, 26 people waiting there already. That is mental. And if we go to Gloucester Gardens, 19 people waiting here. Of course, there are a lot of people that were waiting at that station, that, or at these stations, that are now going to have to seek alternative methods of transport, which is probably going to clog up the city auto again. But hey ho, you live and learn, don't you? It's been a long time since I last edited the Metro. It's only a week in terms of episodes, but in terms of... in fact, it's not a week, it's 2 weeks since. But even so, it's mental. It is mental. Right, so I've got this as a loading station and this is an unloading station for one line. I'm going to do the opposite for the other line, just to make sure that they're definitely kept separate. And it also means you've got passengers waiting at both platforms, which should reduce congestion and increase the chances of actually being able to get on a train, which is always a good thing, I find. It's nice to actually be able to board a train and go somewhere. Hate being stuck on the platform. Whenever I try and get on the tube and the train is full, I always go for the method of wait for the next one. But then when you do that and it turns out that one's just as busy, it does get very, very frustrating. But when it works, you end up with the whole carriage basically to yourself, because everyone bustles to get on the first train. The next train arrives, what, 2 minutes later? So you haven't really lost that much time in your day. Yet you get, you get a seat, you put your feet up on the seats opposite. You don't have to worry about people bumping into you every time the train jiggers about. And it's just a lot nicer to be able to travel on a train in a seat and not have to worry about other people. It's not that I don't like people, it's just I don't like people in my face when I'm on a train. But there we go, that's the second line done. Now these should start running again. Actually, whilst I've got the things open, I want to reduce the waiting time between trains because we do end up with a lot of people on these lines. So we've done that one, now we've got to do this one. But is that the one I've just done? Yeah. Wait, what? Has it just done both of them automatically? Or did I might have already increased them actually. I don't know. That's confused me. If it's just done that because I've got them set to copy, then that's very clever. If it's done that because I did it in a previous episode and forgot about it, then that's not very clever of me. But there you go. Anyway,